Hi, and welcome back to my art and fiction channel. Today, however, we're going to do something a little bit different and have a garden tour. I have a small urban garden. Nothing fancy, certainly isn't perfect, it's an ongoing project. It's a narrow oblong shape with a small patio area and a whopping great cherry tree in the middle and a deadly straight path to one side. The design is not my choice, it's what we inherited when we bought the house, and we'll just have to put up with it for the time being and try and improve upon it as we go. If you want to stick around for that journey, you're very welcome, and if you've got any ideas for garden designs, I'd love to hear them below. I'm really open to bright ideas. I'm not an expert gardener, I know bits, pick up stuff as I go along. And what you're looking at here is the edge of my patio, and there's Rosie and Jim sniffing around at stuff. They always find things to invest in. And there is a big hole. Now, this concrete lump you can see with a metal piece stuck through it, that was in the hole, and a person walking along was in danger of gashing their ankle on the metal stump. I think it was an old washing line post. So I dug it out, which was quite a job, as you can imagine. That's quite heavy. It is quite heavy. And now I've got the job of getting rid of it, of course. And I'm left with a big hole. But I've already got plans for this, as you'll see in a minute. Those are some of the bricks that came out of the hole. And there's Jim standing guard, very brave of him. Yes, I've already got plans for the big hole. No, I'm not putting a pond there. You'll see in a minute what I'm doing. Oh, there's my lovely hyacinth that's come up again this spring. It smells delicious. And there's some tiny grape hyacinth in a plant pot with some narcissi. What's Rosie doing? Oh, it's the pair of them actually, isn't it? If you're wondering why that branch is sat on the edge of that plant pot, it's to stop the dogs digging my plants up. There's a lovely fuchsia in that pot and the dog kept digging it up. Doesn't do the plants any good whatsoever. The aquilegia you can see there, that self-seeds itself all around the garden. I don't mind at all because it's absolutely lovely. And you can see the peony starting to come up there. Once it gets going, it flies away. And at the top of the screen there, you can see a bit of a clematis that the dogs dug up accidentally the other year. And it's come up again from the root. So I've put this metal climbing trellis over the top of it. And hopefully that'll keep the dogs off. See, she's inspecting it even now. There's a whole pile of chamomile around the back of the compost heap. And St John's wort comes up rapidly every year, even though I prune it back ferociously each time. It's too big for the garden, really. And there's the huge cherry tree I mentioned. I am loath to cut down any trees, but that one is a bit of a nuisance. It's a beautiful tree in the wrong place. It's far too big a tree for the garden, and so it dominates the whole design of it and makes things a bit limited. And of course the lawn is full of tree roots. You can't walk on the lawn without going head over heels. Here's a little bed. More aquilegia. Some people call them columbine or granny's bonnets. A few tulips bobbing about. Some grass seed in that concrete pot there. I'm hoping they'll come up. I'll have to wait and see. It's a fancy grass with a seed head looks as though it's been plaited. A very strange looking thing. Now this tree shrub, I don't know what it is. It has huge pink flowers on it that don't last very long. And it has been in a plant pot, but it wasn't happy there, so I've stuck it in the newly created big hole. We'll have to see what it does, if it perks up a bit. Now all them prunings need to be get rid of as well. Now, as these videos go on, time's moving by, you see. You see the plants getting bigger and bigger as spring moves along. Patio's disappearing under various plants that seed themselves everywhere. The birds love that little bird bath. And the cherry blossoms out already. masses of snow white cherry blossom. Not much perfume on this particular tree, but it does have lovely edible cherries. That's the good side to that plant. The bad side, of course, is that it's humongous. You can't have it always, can you? So there we are, looking across the patio. I've got a huge pile of empty plant pots round the corner with plenty of room to put more out. And those forget-me-nots are a bit of a menace, actually. Seed themselves everywhere. I like some species of forget-me-nots. We unfortunately have the horrible sort. They have big hairy leaves that give you a rash if you touch them. There's the rhubarb coming up fast now, you can see it in the lower corner. And there's, I don't know what the name of that plant is, it gets gorgeous purple little flowers on it all through the summer. It's quite lovely. There's a lovely raggedy tulip. Lovely carmine rosy red colour with a jaggedy edge with the snow white. Quite pretty. Shame they don't last long. There's a rose that's in desperate need of pruning. And there's the wing-clang. Now I have mixed feelings about wing-clangs. Yes, I know they're supposed to be called wing chimes. To me they sound like a clang, so I call them wing-clangs. Another tulip. Tulips from Amsterdam. Well, not Amsterdam, actually. Hoxton and Birkenhead. Hardly as glamorous, but still. Doodle round here, and we have got in this corner various little shrubs. I do like that yellow and green variegated leaf. There's some pots there that look a bit depressed. Any ideas for depressed plant pots? Some tulips. And yes, I know the shed needs painting. Yes, that job is on the list of things to do. Paint the shed with preservative, because after all, a can of preservative is a lot cheaper than a new shed. Therefore, preserve what you have. That's an ivy growing in a chimney pot. And tons of aquilegia. There's a rose in there somewhere buried under that lot. And here's a brazier that we used to get rid of all the prune stuff earlier in the year. And inside there's the ash that I'll sprinkle around the garden when I get a chance. Got lumps of charcoal in there by the looks of it. And the aquilegia's growing faster, isn't it, quite quickly. See the state of the lawn. It's a combination of dogs and tree roots. See, it's a long oblong shape, the garden is, with a weird narrow bit at the side of the house that you can't do much with. In the grey pots up by the wall, we've got some strawberries growing. See how fast everything grows at this time of year? Quite fascinating. With a rose hip. Let's see. Oh yeah, they are growing, aren't they? Those, whatchamacallit, cuttings. As you can see, this is not a particularly brilliant video. It's not scripted, it's not done with a professional camera. I just use this old Kodak. It was obsolete when I had it. It's definitely obsolete now, isn't it? Shame, it's kind of pocket sized and handy, but a bit fuzzy. There's some house leeks in a little pot, little Japanese bonsai pot. Various things growing, grape hyacinth again. Collection of watering cans and a hose pipe. Another chimney pot. Some ornamental grass. Yet more aquilegia and a funny little man with a big nose. And that's an empty plant pot which has got soil in it. I'm waiting to find something interesting to stick in it. There's some strawberries. They were given away by a neighbour last year. They had a big sign pinned to the front door saying, "Free plants, help yourself." And there were these strawberries. So I thought, oh, thank you very much. I'll have some strawberries. I must put a thank you note through their door or give them some strawberry jam or something. You've got cherry blossom freckling all over the floor now. Everything's covered in fallen cherry blossom. Back to the 1st of May now we are. So there's the cherry blossom from the Bealtony festivities, sort of. Perhaps. I wonder if that fuchsia's going to grow this year. Rosie's inspecting the bird bath there. We've got lovely clean water to drink in the house, and they go and drink out of the bird bath. Dogs. Everything's covered in cherry fall and cherry blossom. There's the ragged ends of a tulip. Not much left of it now apart from the stalk. Another little laughing face ornament. And the chives are coming up fast as well now, that's nice. I do like chives, they have lovely little flowers. Another rose. And that woe-begotten cherry tree again. Round and round in circles, showing you what's going on. And as you can see, that clematis that survived, not only has it survived, it's growing quite rapidly. So hopefully we'll have some flowers on it eventually. If the dogs will leave it alone long enough. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the garden. Stay watching and see how it grows, eh? See you soon. Thanks for watching. And there's the first poppy of the year.